Jaguars did get a big win, and everybody loves a good underdog story, right? Comeback win for the Jaguars today. The only problem is the Jaguars were trailing by 10 points in the first quarter, exploded the rest of the way, and they weren't supposed to be the underdogs. I loved that cartoon as a kid. Today, they were actually massive favorites in this game, but a win is a win. Just only thing keep in mind, don't let one win against a really bad football team distract you from the fact the Jaguars are still 2-5. Stay focused here. Look, there are phrases like, don't judge a book by its cover, and it's not how you start, it's how you finish that'll get thrown around after a win because, sure, this team could still technically rattle off a bunch of wins and have a really good record at the end of the year and find a way into the playoffs. It could happen. Probably not going to happen, but it could. But let's go all the way back to the beginning. It's 2022, and the Jaguars and the Lions are in the exact same position. They were picking number 1 and number 2 in the NFL draft. That next year, each one of those teams won 9 games. But let's fast forward to now. This team's considered one of the best in the NFL, while the Jaguars are in the conversation for having another top 5 pick in the draft. Jaguars went from having, well, this happy Doug Peterson with the ice cream to having this Doug Peterson that's terrified of everything that he's been seeing out on the field. Look, the Jaguars won this week, but don't let that serve as a distraction that the issues that have Doug Peterson looking like that still exist. One win against a team that has openly said that they are in a rebuild should not disrupt the agenda of displeasure around this Jaguars organization. Now, the Jaguars did get a win today, but where was this guy? Second-round pick Mason Smith, he was inactive. He didn't play. Still counts as a win for him, but wasn't on the field. Now, does this look like a team that can really afford to redshirt a guy that they picked in the second round? Oh, add in, they traded this guy, Roy Robertson-Harris, so he's not here anymore to eat up any of those snaps. That should have opened up more snaps for Mason Smith, but just like Roy said, nope, still didn't. So there's a problem somewhere in this organization, right? Can you say, we could say Trent missed the pick. Looks like that's where Doug's kind of pointing, right? Or we could say the coaching staff doesn't know how to get the guys ready to play. Either way, there's some sort of power struggle going on inside this organization. Look, it shows that the coach and the general manager are not on the same page. And if you're going to have a winning football team and put a team in a position to succeed, you got to have the guys who are making the calls on the same page, whether they're making the calls on the field or off the field. They have to be able to agree to put together a product that works. So we got to go back to the first chapter of this book where we kind of talked about the Detroit Lions. Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, they were brought in at the same time back in 2021. Those two have been on the same page since day one. And you know what? It shows in the product that they're putting on the football field. A win is a win. All I'm saying is just don't let it distract you from the whole story because someone broke this team somewhere along the line. I know Trevor Lawrence likes to say that it's really hard to win games in the NFL, but it shouldn't be this hard. Not as hard as the Jaguars make it. The agenda should remain unchanged. It's time for a fresh start. Maybe it's a guy that's hanging out with the Lions that could change things in Duval, but y'all ain't ready for that conversation yet. Maybe we'll get to it later this year.